Welcome back to the Football Rig with another show of the Arsenal News Drilldown. Today, we're having a special guest in the building. His debut, my brother, my Kaddish, TKA, and of course, the elite WaffleDon. Tonight, we're going to discuss a lot of things. Arsenal are moving differently than the previous summers, than previous years. I can feel it, I can see it, and I hope it materializes. We're talking about marquee signing, marquee names that are Arsenal linked to heavily, and I think it's going to come true in the summer. They are going to put some serious money, potentially, in the summer as well. At the same time, the squad is getting a little bit hammered. Injuries during the international breaks. We're gonna break it down for you guys. We're gonna talk about it because if even one of these stories land, I think it's gonna be a great summer for Arsenal. And I think also the players that are injured, I hope they get well soon, because we do need them in the final run of the league. But here's the real question: are Arsenal building something unstoppable? I do believe that. I hope it's true. Or are we walking into another cycle of hype and you know, all of that stuff that we've been seeing year in and year out? But we're going to find out. Welcome to the Football Rig, yo. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and make sure you guys subscribe to these elite panelists that I have here. Both of them are in the description, TKA Football and also WaffleDon. We're not just going to talk football. We're going to break it down like a system under pressure. Let's drill it, man. Let's drill it. Let's go. First of all, guys, how are you guys doing?
Yeah, I'm good, man.
Well, you go first.
All good.
No, you're the OG. I'll go last. You're the OG, bro.
Nah, I'm good, man. You know what I mean? It's just another day, innit? Another day in the world of football. So yeah, I'm good, man.
I'm glad to hear that. Well, guys, let's get right into it. I mean, Arsenal are linked into.
You're not gonna ask me how I am, Sammy. Is that what's going on, bro? You know what I'm saying?
No, sorry, bro. Sorry, my Kaddish, brother. I actually forgot to put the pictures as well. So please go ahead. Tell me, man, how you doing? How you feeling? I know. Look, I want to talk a little bit about the final, because we haven't done the show since the final. I know it's a sore topic. I know it's, you know, probably the wound is still, you know, fresh, and I don't want to just put salt on it, but we have to kind of a little bit talk about it. So I want your feelings, guide, about it. T, you can go first, buddy. What did you think about the final? You're still sore about it, or you think it's just, you know, we move on? Yeah, tell me about it, buddy.
I mean, I am never a guy that puts his head down on a trophy. I will never belittle a trophy like that, even though it's not my main priority. You know what I'm saying? I would still like to win it if I have the chance to win it, obviously. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Carabao Cup is one of those cups, and this is a final that just I mean, we can look at it like in two lenses. We can look at it at the players and say, oh, Kepa made those mistakes. You know what I'm saying? And that cost us basically. And we lost that game purely because of one specific player. You know what I'm saying? Then I just look at the overall performance and look at the rest of the team and just see how much we created, especially in the second half, how we passed the ball, how we kept the ball, which was, in my opinion, non-existent. This was just one of those games where when we got the ball, we just booted forward, you know what I'm saying, and hope that either Gyökeres or Havertz will get the end of it so they can continue by passing it to the winger so we can maybe create an attack, you know what I'm saying? But obviously, knowing Arsenal, we do that very slowly. We are not in a hurry at all. We just take our time every time we're on the ball. So
no urgency, yeah.
It basically what we did and the way we set up the tactics that were used in this specific game were, in my opinion, mostly the reason in why this game ended up going this way. Because even if we scored that Havertz chance, I still believe that we would lose if we continue playing like this. You know what I'm saying? So for me, like I said, I can point fingers at individuals, but at the end of the day, I just can look at the guy that leads them at the end. And he just didn't put them up to succeed. Let's just say that. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was let's sit back and boot the ball forward type tactics. And in a final, while playing in second gear, because we didn't look like we were in some sort of hurry or an urgency. There was no urgency at all in this team.
Yeah, I felt it, bro. I felt
so that's the overarching point for me. It's at the end of the day, Arteta did not set these players up to succeed, and they didn't look good at all. But you cannot look good in a system that's not set up well. You know what I'm saying? Even if you are Ronaldinho and R9, you're gonna fail if you play a system like this at the end of the day, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, opinions can differ and people can blame the individuals instead. Totally understandable. But for me, even if Kepa was clean all game and did not make any mistake, we would still lose this game purely because of the way we set up at the end of the day. That's how I feel about this game. I am disappointed. I'm not happy. Because I wanted this to be the appetizer for the league. You know what I'm saying? And maybe
unfortunately,
double. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, now we lost it, and I am not happy at all, in my opinion. You know what I'm
saying?
saying?
WaffleDon, do you share the same feeling as TKA here? Is it on the manager? Is it the players? I mean, how do you look at it from your perspective now that we lost the Carabao Cup? I mean, give me your thoughts, buddy.
You know, just bringing up this Carabao Cup again, yeah, I thought I was getting over it, but now I'm being reminded of the Carabao Cup again, and it's
you can be brief.
Nah, because you know, culturally, yeah, growing up in the UK all my life, yeah, obviously I'm a little bit older than you guys, isn't it? So the main cups were the FA Cup. We used to call it the Worthington Cup or the Mill Cup back in the day. And you had the league as well. You might call it a Premier League, call it Division 1. Those were the 3 cups. Europe was a pipe dream, yeah? So when we won it in 93, I believe.
That's the last time.
That was a joy, you know, to see, you know, the players lifting up that cup. Modern day now, the way we talk about this cup, not every fan, but a lot of fans talk about this cup as just being a Mickey Mouse Cup. I've never seen it like that. I always say to myself, yeah, that if you're in it, you need to win it. And the priority is right now. Yeah, in terms of that game was a priority to win that game. And then obviously we're going to talk about the league and stuff as well, because when you look at it from both teams' perspective, we keep going on about we could do the quad and the trebles and all this kind of stuff, but so can Man City. Man City can still do the treble as well. Yeah. Yes, they've got a big gap in between the two clubs. But
UCL, man, they are knocked out. How come?
The FA Cup, the league, they've already got a Carabao Cup already.
The domestic treble.
Yeah, so they can do a domestic treble. So it's almost like, I don't know, we dismiss that in terms of like, you know, everything can go to pot from here. And I don't want to sound too negative, but that's the reality. If we don't get our priorities right going into the league, based on what I've seen, because I can only talk about based on our last game and how we performed against Man City, it's almost like we went into that game first 5-10 minutes, 15 minutes, enthusiastic, you know. We looked like the team, you know, to be respected. But after that 10-15 minutes, it all faded away. And I never get the answer to these questions. Like, why did we stop believing in what we was doing? Why did we stop believing? Was it the teacher pupil thing where, you know, Pep decided, well, I'm going to do this tactically and change this up? Where was this genius that I'm hearing from the fan base? Where was the genius when it came to, you know, changing up things proactively? And this is one of the problems I have with this so-called genius. He gets named all these things, but when it comes to Pep, he turns into like Jello, he turns into like, you know, the chocolate man, melting man. And this is one thing for me that he's never gonna be this big manager until one, he takes us over the line, yeah, and
Agreed.
two, he goes to the Etihad and he gives Pep a spanking, a good old spanking on his behind. Pause. That's for me. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, I agree, man. And even my expectation, I would say, of the season just went from domestic treble to I just want the league, yo. I'm gonna be happy with the league. I'm gonna be honest. My expectation went completely down. So I think we do have, a huge chance with the league. 9 points clear. I know they have one game in hand. They have also the game at Etihad. But still, I would take the league, bro. That's all I want. I mean, and we can build from there. You know why I say only the league? Because looking at the first timers, I would like to call them the first timers, i.e., City, who won the UCL first time. PSG won the UCL for the first time. Chelsea back in 2012 won it first time. There's a common denominator between those clubs. They managed to win domestic trophies before they went on the UCL to win there and have that kind of mentality that you said, and the know-how and not crumble under pressure. And I think that's what we need right now. We just need to win leagues, probably back-to-back, couple of domestic cups, and then we can say, okay, I will go to the UCL and try. And unfortunately, it was a bad sign when I saw my team crumble against City. It was he completely outsmarted Arteta in every aspect of the game, and you can see it. The players didn't know what to do. The manager didn't know what to do. I mean, he had to do his substitutions after they went 2-0 up. I mean, it shows immaturity in terms of managing your team. Playing Kepa, yes, that was a massive mistake. I mean, I don't care about his feelings. You can go cry about it. I don't care if he did well in the previous games, but when you go to the final, you owe us fans. And Jamie Carragher said it. He owes Arsenal fans a trophy more than he owes Kepa to keep him happy or content. I don't give a shit, bro. You owe us the trophy, man. So you gotta do your best to win a trophy. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't care about what City does with Trafford and he selected the second goalkeeper. I don't care about what City does, man. I care about what Arsenal does. And we didn't do right. Not the lineup, not the substitutions, nothing. It was just complete. Oh man, it's a sore topic, but it is what it is. We move on from it. And my expectation just changed completely from a domestic treble to I want the league, yo. I'm happy with the league. I'll be over the moon. You know what? Over the moon. Since we didn't win it for 2 decades, I'll just be happy with the league. Well, we'll just move on to a more positive topic, I would say. Lately Arsenal have been linked with a lot of players. I'm not gonna lie. There are a bunch of players we're linked to, and I chose the 2 players that are. There's a lot of noise about these 2 players. A lot of noise, which is Kvaratskhelia and Alvarez, right? So I'm going to bring it up here quickly for you guys about Alvarez and also Kvaratskhelia. This is the first one about Kvaratskhelia. Let's remember that. Okay. So Arsenal are exploring the potential move to Kvaratskhelia, and I think this signing in specific, it's gonna be even stronger once Arsenal win the league, because once you're the reigning champion, right? You're gonna go into this player and you're gonna offer him a contract, but as a winner, right? As a reigning champion, you have this project in mind. Listen, we're gonna build up from here. You're a key component to this project. You're gonna be the starting star for Arsenal, and we want to take this club from point A to point B, and you're gonna be an important factor for Arsenal to do so. So what is your thoughts about this, guys? Do you think Kvaratskhelia can come to Arsenal, or is it hard to achieve, or you think it's well, what's your thoughts here? I'll start with you, T. Would you like the player anyways at Arsenal?
I mean, yeah, obviously I said that we should have bought him when he was still at Napoli.
Napoli, yeah.
I mean, because
that ship sailed, bro. That ship sailed.
That ship sailed, but they bought him for like 65 or like 75.
Yeah.
That was a bargain if you look at today's market and what's available for the left side. You know what I'm saying? But now the thing is with the signing, I would love it if this happens. And like you said, if you're reigning champions, you have a bigger chance on signing these superstars. They will come to you faster. You know what I'm saying? Because now they will also see, oh, Arsenal finally won the league after 22 years. So that means that the current Arsenal are back to where they should be. So I can go and show my talents there as well. But for this signing, well, I'm hearing different things. And the one thing in particular that stands out is that this guy is happy at PSG and he's not looking to leave anytime soon. So I don't believe this signing will happen because we will not splash the cash like Chelsea would, for example, back in the day. So I don't see us dropping like 100 plus million for this guy just to crack the armor.
Why?
I don't see us doing that. You know what I'm saying? We did that with Rice. We did that with Rice, but outside of Rice, it's been pretty tame. You know what I'm saying? We've been around the 60s, around the 50 millions, around the 40 million mark, but we've not really got back to that 100 million after we bought Rice, and that's like almost 2 years ago now, or longer than 2 years ago now. So at the end of the day, we're not that kind of club that goes out and splashes those monies on one player. You know what I'm saying? So I don't see us forcing PSG. Imagine if PSG said to us, he's not for sale. We are that kind of club that would respect that and move away and go to the next guy. You know what I'm saying? We would not persist. We would not say, hey, we will pay you 110 million for him. You know what I'm saying? We're not that kind of club. We are a respectful club that just leaves when they say no. You know what I'm saying?
This is where I disagree with you, T. I disagree with you completely here. Honestly speaking. I think the way Arsenal are moving in terms of signings, in terms of building this project, bringing Berta, bringing a new scouting team, I think that changes a lot. I mean, regardless of the manager, right? I'm not going to talk about Arteta and the way he plays and the tactics and all that. Just forget about that for a second, right? I think Arsenal are moving towards something that is sustainable for the foreseeable future, if that makes any sense. Nothing is you know, I wouldn't see Arsenal falling within the next 10 years, right? I see them in the ascending, basically, when it comes to the team build up, the way they're setting up the team, the way they are moving financially, and also the right personnel. And eventually, if Arteta is not the guy, then he's not the guy. I mean, I'm not here saying Arteta is the guy and he's going to move us, you know, towards glory or anything like that. But I think when it comes to signings, like marquee signing like this, I think we can do it. I see it. I mean, I'm not going to be surprised.
The thing is, Sammy, you're misunderstanding. I'm not saying we cannot. We can, but we won't. That's the difference. You know what I'm saying? We are a respectful club that when a player or club says no, we are respectful enough to leave and go to the next guy. You know what I'm saying? For example, I'll give you 2 examples. Isak, we wanted them, but they told us firmly he's not for sale. He's not looking to leave. You know what I'm saying? We want to keep him at this club. And we said, sure, we'll leave. You know what I'm saying? We did not even make an offer. We did not even go to the point that we were negotiating. You know what I'm saying? They said no, we left. You know what I'm saying? And another example was, I had a very good example, but I forgot. Never mind. I think it was Caicedo or someone else. But anyway, every time we go to clubs and inquire for players and they are firmly saying no, we don't go to them and we don't splash the cash like that. You know, if that was the case, we would have bought Isak instead of Gyökeres the year before. You know, so you're correct when you say that we are in an ascending trajectory as a club. That there's no doubt about that. You know what I'm saying? But we are still, even under Berta, I did not see us go to specific players and say, oh, we'll pay the money for you. I know the second example. It was Sesko. Remember when they outpriced us for Sesko? 85, 90 million with the release clause? We were never going to pay that. And even Gyökeres, we were haggling for 2 million, bro. Remember that? Remember that. The payment structure and 2 million less we wanted. We wanted a different payment structure.
But this is different because that was tactical because the patience paid off, right? Instead of you paying 80, 90 million, you paid 67, whatever, 70 million, right? It's
of course, but
right.
But like I said, would you think that this is likely to happen, or that what's more likely to happen? Us splashing the money 100, 120 million, or us haggling to get that price lower? Imagine they said we want 100 million for Kvaratskhelia. We would negotiate and want for him for around 75, 80. We would push them down. Trust me when I say this. This has happened before. This is not the first time. And this
is normal negotiation, no?
Yeah, that's how negotiation.
Yeah, but I understand. But sometimes we lowball them, is what I'm trying to say. We lowball teams to the point that they just leave, or they just say, no, we're not selling him for that price. And then we leave. Okay. Imagine the range was between 75 and 120 million, yeah? And they say we want around 110, 120. We want to give him like around 75. We would not go to that 100 million mark. We would go around the 90, 95 million mark. Because I've seen this club do this before, even on the Bertha, bro. We lowball teams a lot of times. We would never go to that asking price of teams. And I'm not saying that clubs should do that, but we lowball them. We're not making it realistic, is what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we can save a little bit of money so we can invest it elsewhere. I mean, I don't see the issue or the problem with that.
Of course,
but
that's what I'm saying. This signing is a pipe dream. That's what I'm saying.
So
it's not going to happen.
I want to ask WaffleDon here. I mean, considering the doc, what he's saying, the history of Arteta with attackers, and as you know, personally, I said it many times that Arteta, nobody actually improved under him when it comes to attackers. They all digressed basically as footballers. I want your thoughts, WaffleDon, about Kvaratskhelia. Should we go with him? Should we pay the 100 mil? Right. And another comment here, I like it from Godfrey. It says here, if Kvaratskhelia is not available as a left winger, would you go for Ndiaye or Diamonde or any of those player, which is a little bit lower tier, if it's fair to say, compared to Kvaratskhelia? Or would you break the bank to sign him? And also, don't forget, we're going to get rid of a lot of players. We're going to get rid of Jesus. We're going to get rid of Trossard. We're going to get rid of a bunch of players and free up the books. So the wages you can actually pay. He's currently he's getting paid around 9 million per year, plus 2 bonuses. So that's 11 million. Let's call it $1 million a month, right? So that's the range of 250,000 per week. So I think we can offer him, let's say 300, right? Which is a more lucrative contract compared to PSG. And also they can demand, right? Because the guy is a treble winner. He's an elite player. He's a proven talent. What's your feeling about that, WaffleDon?
Well, Kvara, we all want Kvara, don't we? But at the moment, it's a pipe dream. For this deal to happen, there's got to be a few things that has to happen. So Luis Enrique leaves PSG. The player wants a new challenge because he's already won the Champions League. Has he won the league with PSG already?
Yeah.
So he's already done everything at PSG, hasn't he? That he's needed to do. So
So he won everything with PSG.
Yeah. So a new challenge coming to Arsenal. That'll probably be one of his a massive motivation for him playing in the Premier League. He's never played in the Premier League before. This is a player that I think a lot of us guys that know ball admire very much. Just his talent alone. And he would fix that left-hand side. That left-hand side will be his. It wouldn't be Starboy anymore. It will be Kvara Boy. That's the type of player you would need Saudi to come to the Emirates to watch. I would get off my bum and go to the Emirates, which is about an hour drive or whatever, and watch. because these are the players you want in your team. Now, the Arteta factor is very important, and Dr. S, I call him Dr. Seymour, I call Dr. S. He raises
it sounds like a villain, yeah.
Yeah. It's just between you.
Go on.
The Arteta factor has to be raised when you speak about this type of player, because Arteta may admire him. I don't know. It's just an opinion, but is this type of player an Arteta player, or is it more Berta signing? Because Arteta, if you look at the players we have on the left wing, we have Martinelli and Trossard, totally different players from this one. They're nothing close to this guy. Yeah, if anything, it's all combined into one. Yeah, because he's got pace, he's got skill. He can go around man, left, right, center, do madness, score goals. He can do everything. Yeah, he's one of the most complete wingers, if not one of the best wingers in his position on the left, on that side. This type of player for me, is a maverick, and I don't know if Arteta, if he's willing to change, is able to take the responsibility for this type of player, because Kvaratskhelia is not the player you say, make sure you're running back. You don't stand on the sideline, and be telling Kvaratskhelia, do this, do that. You don't see Luis Enrique doing that. This is the type of player that you say, you know what, go out and do your thing today, do your thing, and he will go and produce. He's definitely a player, when you look at him, that you have to have man management skills with him. You can't just like.
Can I ask you a question? Just a follow-up question about what you're saying, WaffleDon. Since you brought up Arteta, we've seen Arteta play an attacking football, right? Back in 22-23, right? Yeah. It's not something that we haven't seen. So do you think the reason why we're seeing more conservative approach, more pragmatic approach from Arteta is because he no longer have the same personnel in terms of the levels, like because, Martinelli dropped off the cliff, Trossard dropped off the cliff, Jesus, after his knee injuries, is no longer there. Do you think that could be a reason why he's more pragmatic in his approach? And if he does have the proper players like Kvaratskhelia, like, Alvarez, you're going to talk about him in a sec, do you think he would go more attacking football, in your opinion, or you think he's just going to continue the set piece FC shit? And
football very much dictates how it evolves. So if something's working right now, then why change it? There's an easy argument to say, he's going to go back to attacking next season, but there's also another argument to say that he might just keep it the same because, we've got one of the best defenses in the league, maybe Europe.
So telling you, look, Luis Enrique also worked on his defensive attribute as well. He asked him to kind of track back, and he did the groundwork in terms of training and instead.
Fair enough. Yeah. But PSG and Arsenal, that league compared to the Premier League is two different leagues, in my opinion. Yes, they've won the title and stuff like that, but the Premier League is a grind. It's a grind every week. Yeah, the lower teams that you play are, I would say, on par with the top leagues, or with the top teams in is it League One? Ligue 1? Yeah, Ligue 1. So it's a grind every week. Listen, he might have valid points. The guy in the chat might have valid points about this is what he wanted him to do and everything like that. But they're two different managers. One's fully experienced, the other one is a bit of a psycho. So he doesn't manage these type of players. Enrique has managed these players all throughout his career. You can't compare the two managers. You cannot compare them. So for me, I can't see it personally. If it happens, it happens. But I can't see it personally. I can't see it. I would love it to happen, but I just can't see it.
Okay. I think I know what they meant when they said that Kvara needed to run back and defend. I think that was against us, if I remember correctly, last year. You know what I'm saying? That was because he did that then, if I remember correctly, because they were not because normally they commit a lot and attack a lot, but they were sitting back at some points, and he wanted his wingers to defend as well. Also Kvara, but he doesn't ask him to do that consistently, bro. They are attacking way more than us. Normally they are on the front.
You're saying it's based on the game, basically, right?
It's based on the game. It's based on the tactics. Because Arteta does this consistently. This is his way. This is not Enrique's way. Enrique's way is also dominate, but in an attacking sense, not in a defensive sense. You know what I'm saying? So
His
very
midfield
he's superior to
PSG's midfield always have the ball. They always dictate. We don't have players in our midfield that dictate as much as I can't even say his name properly. Vitinha.
Yeah.
We don't have that. I don't think we have a player like that in our team.
Ah, man. Okay. Well, moving on to another marquee signing that Arsenal are linked to, and I think you guys know we're going to talk about. And Berta has the experience, has the know-how of how to bring this guy, because he is the one who brought Alvarez from City to Atletico Madrid with a significant amount as well. 90 million, was it? I can't remember the price tag, how much they signed him for.
It was a lot.
It was a lot, right? However, the player showed his quality, showed that he's a good player. He has the experience in the Premier League with Manchester City. However, he couldn't stay with City just because he would always be the number 2 behind Haaland. Right, and rightfully so, because Haaland is Haaland, right? You cannot beat Haaland at his game, and that's why he moved to Atletico Madrid. But however, it seems that Berta had a positive response about joining the Gunners from his camp or whatsoever, and it will take a record fee from Arsenal to sign him. I want your opinion, T, about Alvarez, and would you prioritize Alvarez over Kvara, or would you go for both, or which one you would go for? I mean, personally.
Good question. I'll answer it in a bit. I'll just say that first, that if one of those signings will happen, it's most likely to be this one, because this one, trust me when I say PSG is way harder to get players from, especially right now, than someone like Atletico Madrid. Than someone like Atletico Madrid, for example. You can buy players from Atletico Madrid, but it's hard to buy players from the current PSG team that's competing in all fronts, favorites in almost all fronts, you know what I'm saying? Because people are talking about, it's going to be Bayern, it's going to be PSG, even though PSG is not in the same form. They're still a great team. They still have a double treble winning coach, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, for us, buying a player from Atletico is way easier. So I think this signing will happen before the Kvaratskhelia signing. But to answer your question about who would I prioritize, I would personally buy Kvara over Alvarez. And I have a good reason. Because if you look at Alvarez is a footballer, is a great footballer, don't get me wrong. He's very good on the ball. He can create as well as score goals. You know, so this is not a bad player in any means. That's why the 100 million price tag is justified. You know what I'm saying? But if you look at the return of this season specifically, I think Gyökeres has more goals than this guy, bro. You know what I'm saying? And this guy is playing in the Spanish
season,
league. You know what I'm saying?
Even last season,
yeah. So imagine Gyökeres playing in the Spanish league. Will he have more goals than him as well? You know what I'm saying? I think so. So for me, his finishing is not something that is standing out from this player. I think his ball playing ability, his creating ability, I think that's what stands out from this player the most. You know what I'm saying? Because City played him at midfield at some point, at center mid even. Not even cam.
Second attacker.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So for me, this would be a great signing for when it comes to the team, but I don't think this guy will be our out-and-out goal scorer. I don't think this guy will be our main goal scorer like that. You know what I'm saying? And if I look at the team and look at what the team needs currently, I do believe that we need a left winger more than we need a striker right now, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because Gyökeres, people can say what they want about Gyökeres, bro. But at the end of the day, he's getting numbers. He scored a hat-trick yesterday for Sweden. You know what I'm saying? And they're going to play Poland now in the final. So at the end of the day, this guy is getting numbers. He just needs to get used to the team, used to the system, and used to the manager's demands, because he is asking Gyökeres to do stuff what he never normally does. So you're going to get a worse player. Sammy, I've told you this 100 times. I don't need to repeat myself again. You know what I'm saying?
I know how much
you know how I feel about,
it's fun. I didn't even talk about Gyökeres. You're the one who brought Gyökeres to the conversation.
I'm not saying that because of that, but I'm just saying you know why Gyökeres' numbers dipped.
It's just that there's a difference. There's a difference between Gyökeres and Alvarez in terms of even profile wise, right? I think Gyökeres is a complete different profile than Alvarez. And I would see, if you remember 22-23 when we played this attacking football, Jesus was on fire. I don't know if you remember that, but Jesus was scoring. Jesus was helping the team offensively to drop deep, receive the ball, allow the wingers to run. And I think Alvarez is more capable of doing that over Gyökeres. I'm not saying he's a better striker.
That's what I'm saying. His ball playing ability and his creating ability. If you look at his profile, I think if we look at the three profiles that we have in the team right now, which is Jesus, Havertz, and Gyökeres, we would basically be replacing Jesus's profile. You know what I'm saying? Because his profile is the closest to Jesus. So this guy, like BBK is saying, he had 31 GA playing a second fiddle to Haaland. You know what I'm saying? That's including, if I remember correctly, double-digit assists. No? I think this guy had more than double-digit assists.
He had good numbers. Basically, yeah.
So if you look at this signing could basically be a signing of, you're not even going to be the number 9. You're going to play, like, for example, the Havertz role that Havertz played in the final. You know what I'm saying? Right. So like a second striker to Gyökeres to create, also to score goals. But is that the profile that this team needs more than a left winger? I don't think so. I would go for a left winger, and if we're going to splash the cash, I will splash the cash rather on a left winger than on a striker. You know what I'm saying?
Fairs. Gianni, welcome, buddy. We were talking about your team, Napoli, right? The ex-player from Napoli, which is Kvaratskhelia. So we just talked about him. I want your opinion about Kvaratskhelia and also Alvarez. Who would you prioritize? Would you break the bank to go buy Kvaratskhelia for 100 plus, especially that if we do win the league, so you have like that kind of face to show, like you're a reigning champion, you can convince him with the team that, hey, we are here to win. We're building something massive at Arsenal, and we want you to be part of this project. Do you think it's doable? And if yes, who would you go with, or would you go with both? Especially once we offload some of the players like Gabriel Jesus, Martinelli, and all these bum players that we have at the club.
Well, Kvara, yeah, I'd 100% go for it first. 100% go for him. Splash the cash. Why not? He's arguably the best left winger in the world right now. The only person who you could argue that's maybe better than him is Rafinha. That's about it. About it. And if we're talking about wingers in general, he's in everybody's top 4. It's Elise, Yamal, him, and probably Rafinha are the 4 best wingers in the world right now. So absolutely, I would take him.
Vinny, no.
Who?
Vinny.
Yeah, right. VAR is way better than Vinny. Way better than Vinny.
Okay.
Way better. Kvara, see, the thing is about Kvara doesn't need that burst of pace that Vinicius Jr. needs. Vinicius Jr. is all speed. Kvara will beat you with pace. Kvara will beat you with creativity. I mean, there's no business the way what he does to some of these players with his creative and everything else. And he's dual-footed and can play both sides. So the VAR is not only left winger. If, let's say, in a year we're having the uncomfortable conversation that I think a lot of us will be having about Saka, because there's no show in sight that Saka is going to go back to what he used to be. If you want to get Kvara, he can be long-term either left or right.
He's versatile. Yeah, he's versatile.
So for me, 100%, 100%, I would take Kvara. So I would definitely splash the cash.
Splash the cash. WaffleDon, your opinion, buddy? Or I would add another question for another twist. I would say is if we can't manage to get.
You don't want me to answer the question, but you're going to give me.
No, I want you to answer this. No, I want you to answer the question with a little with more twist to it, because I rate your football knowledge, my friend. That's why I ask you these twisty questions.
So you don't rate our football knowledge, so you gave us less questions. Is that what it
No,
is?
because you just
Is
said
that
he
what's going on?
ready to fight him.
OG, right? You just said he's the OG, right? So come on. So that's an agreement with what I want to say. No, but WaffleDon. Yeah, the same question. Alvarez, Kvaratskhelia, and if Kvara is not available, right, we can't sign him. PSG are reluctant to release him for whatever reason. They put like a 200 million price tag in it, so Arsenal will never pay 200 million. Let's say. Who would you go for as a left winger currently in the market? That is around 100 million that you rate personally. But answer the first question first, and then go to the second.
Okay, so the first question is yes, I'm taking Alvarez all day long. If you look
over
at
Kvara,
No. In isolation.
Okay. Isolation. Okay, fair.
In isolation, I'm taking Kvara. Sorry, this guy's confused me. I'm taking Alvarez. The reason why is because when you look at the Premier League, yeah.
Where would you play him?
Let me land, man. Let me land.
Go ahead.
If you look at the best teams, yeah, in the Premier League, yeah. Liverpool, Man City, don't know about Chelsea, but Ekatike, and you've got Isak. You've got Man City, you've got Marmoush, and you've got Haaland. We have Gyökeres and Nozus. Yeah, that's what we've got at the moment. Yeah, bring in Alvarez. Yeah, I don't care if it's 100 million. It's not my money. It's not my money. Yeah, this club is making plenty of money. Yeah, if we want to start winning Champions Leagues and we want to start winning all these big trophies, and we don't want to be in these situations season upon season where we're like looking behind our back, even when we've got 9 points or how many points in front of these bums, Man City. Yeah, go out and buy me Alvarez. Yeah, because you know what? When Gyökeres isn't firing, yeah, you bring Alvarez on and he kills the game. Yeah. Or if vice versa.
Whoa. Okay, I must have missed this whole conversation. First of all, there is no way in hell Alvarez is leaving Atletico Madrid to come back to be a bench player again. That's
why I asked him
let's get that straight right now. That's number one. Number two, Jurgen Klopp is the favorite to take over Atletico Madrid right now with the new ownership that is promising to add more money. Alvarez is not going to leave the ability of having Jurgen Klopp as his manager to come and be a bench player for Arsenal. The only way we're getting Alvarez is if we take a bath on Gyökeres and sell him somewhere else. He's not going to be a bench player for Arsenal. That's not happening. That's why he left Manchester City. He left Manchester City because he wasn't getting regular minutes. He's not going to do that again for 100 million to sit on the bench behind Gyökeres, especially not with Klopp. And if money's going to be spent, Griezmann just agreed he's leaving. So Alvarez is the new star guy at Atletico Madrid. If Jurgen Klopp is coming in and they're dropping money on them, he's not going to leave and he'll be the star striker. You would have to get rid of Gyökeres to get Alvarez. That's not happening.
Oh, well,
we'll see.
Okay.
But if that's going to be the case, Vara's not coming either, or you're going to be having Gyökeres or other people get sold. That's not going to happen. He's not going to sit on the bench again. That's why he left.
He's not going to play every single game, is he?
Yeah, but okay, so you're expecting him to do what? To do 50 appearances with 30 coming off the bench for Gyökeres? He's not doing that.
I'm not saying that, but he's not going to play every single game, is it, at Arsenal, is it?
He's going to play majority.
Yeah, majority, but it's not going to be every single game, is it? It's going to be games where he doesn't play.
So you're going to bench Gyökeres?
Well, it depends, innit? It depends who's playing well, who's not playing well. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's how I see football, innit? It's not. I'm not doing the numbers thing. Yeah, it's if you're on form and you're playing well, then you get the merit, isn't it? And what will happen is Gyökeres will start, then he dips, and then Alvarez comes in. And if you're that much, or if you're such a better player than Gyökeres, then you'll keep your spot.
No, I don't think we would bench Alvarez at all if we buy him, because we're not the kind of club that spends 100 million and then benches that specific player. You know what I'm saying? Because
what are we doing here? 100 million on the bench ain't happening, man.
We still have
the starting left winger if we get him. That's
I think he would play the Havertz role that Havertz is playing currently, together with Gyökeres, behind Gyökeres, basically. You know what I'm saying? I think that would be his main spot, because imagine Gyökeres being on form. You're not going to bench your 100 million guy. That's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Because we have our managers still trying to justify Havertz's price tag by still gaslighting this fan base into believing that this guy is a pivotal piece to this team and an amazing player that we cannot live without. You know what I'm saying? So, bro, it's one of them situations where if we spend 100 million, I'm gonna guarantee you that this guy is going to be one of our main players. Look at Bryce. That's the only player that we spent 100 million on, and this guy cannot get a rest, bro.
But then you're running into your same problem, though, because then you do that with a different player. How is he going to play in the midfield when you just drop 60, 70 million on Eze? What'll end up happening is Alvarez will be the winger. They're not going to drop you. You're not dropping 60 million on bench players. You're not dropping 60 million on bench players. If we're talking about selling Miles Lewis Skelly and the youth players to get maximum
Eze has been benched a lot this season.
I understand that, but Eze's been benched a lot because Arteta's boy was Odegaard. Until Arteta's boy failed him, and now we're trying to hope that this bum is going to come back and reach his old potential since Eze's hurt. That's the reason why that Eze was benched. Remember, Eze was tried out at the left wing. It didn't work. The first game that he was used at the left wing, he started talking shit about him right after he missed the chance against Liverpool. Since then, he's been in the 10. And remember, for the performances, he's been better than Odegaard the whole season. That's just been Arteta complicating things by not admitting that Eze's been better than Odegaard. Havertz, for example, if Havertz was to keep the number 10 position and we're dumping Odegaard and it's staying between Havertz and Eze, again, it doesn't matter who you put in that position. If you're going to play them more defensive the way that he has with Odegaard and Eze at times, you're wasting 100 million on Alvarez to do the same thing. He's not somebody who's going to track back and defend. That's why I
would bench Gyökeres, man. I would bench Gyökeres in this case, man. I'm being serious.
But if you're having spending problems, you can't. If you're talking about selling youth players for maximum money, that means there's already talking about that there's an issue with cash flow coming into this season because that's your maximum profit. That's why Lewis Skelly's being talked about going for a lot of money, because it's maximum money. You can't just sit there and then take a mainstay guy onto the bench. Again, that's just the way this is with money. Because what? Because if they're telling us right now that Berta's job is to overhaul a lot of this dead wood that's on crazy amount of wages, they're not going to redo the same thing over again. Mm-hmm. You're not going to take a guy who's going to make that much money and then throw him onto the bench. Because then look, you still have to then go spend 40 million? If you say Ndai is the other guy, you're going to spend 100. You're spending over 100 million on two players immediately. They're not going to be able to start benching guys like that. If we spend 100 million, that's the only big name player we're getting.
But you're not considering the outgoing here, Gianni. And your assumption here is just buy and buy and buy. But you're going to sell a lot of players. You're going to sell Martinelli. You're going to probably.
Bro, how much money do you really think you're making on these guys?
It depends.
Because that 80 million tag that people were trying to float on Odegaard, nobody's paying 80 million for him. You'll be lucky if you get 50.
If Elanga went for 50, so I'm gonna put similar price tag on him.
For who?
For Martinelli.
Nobody's spending 50 million on him, bro. That guy has been shit for 2 years. Nobody's spending 50 million on a winger / striker who's played out of position for nothing. It's like they're just like Trossard. We should have sold him to Villa when we had the chance. We didn't. We decided to double his money. You're not gonna. You'll be lucky if you get what you paid for Trossard. You'll be lucky if you get 30 million. A 31-year-old that's been out of form for a year and a half, consistent injuries. Same thing with Martinelli, just lesser in age. We're not going to be making that much money back on these guys. Let's be honest here.
Okay, since money is a concern, I want to go to back to WaffleDon to answer the second part of my question, which is if Kvara is not, we cannot sign him for whatever reason. The price tag is too high. The club is reluctant to release him. Who would be a replacement for you as a winger?
So Ndai, Yildiz, Morgan Rogers.
Morgan Rogers,
players,
okay.
I suppose.
Okay, well, that's a really good shout. That's a really, really good shout. So I think personally, guys, I think we can sign both. I know it's a dream, but taking consideration the outgoings as well. If it happens, if we get rid of Trossard, if we get rid of Martinelli, if we get rid of Jesus as well, I know the price tag won't be that high. However, their salaries are high, right?
Oh.
So you're talking about 265
Yep.
for Jesus. You're talking about, I don't know how much is Martinelli, 200 or 180, whatever.
180.
Yeah.
I think Trossard is almost similar wages.
Yep, exact same.
That frees up a lot of money when it comes to salary and wages. Now, when you talk about cash flow, when you're talking about money, I think Arsenal have a lot of money. I do. I genuinely do. I think they have the capability to go and spend another 300 million in the summer, and it won't impact them whatsoever when it comes to FFP, PSR, and all these regulations. I think they can do it personally because of the way they've been running the club for the past 15 years. It's from business perspective, they've been brilliant, right? They paid out the Emirates Stadium already debt. It's already there, and yeah, I think it can happen. I know it's kind of hard to see two marquee signing, and we haven't really seen it from Arsenal. We usually get like one marquee signing, we buzz about it the whole summer, but I think this time we can do it. I hope so, man. And speaking of outgoings and players that might leave the club, Gianni already mentioned a player, and yes, there has been rumors that are circling our star boy, you want to call him, or one of our youth players, which is Miles Lewis-Skelly. Miles Lewis-Skelly has been targeted and is a main target for Manchester United. I mean, the guy can play in the left back, can play in the center midfield area, and I think it's a big boost for Manchester United, regardless if it's Michael Carrick who's going to be the manager or whoever is going to take over. And if he wants to play this inverting left back, if he wants to play him in the center midfield, I think he can give him a lot of options going forward, and especially that he's not been playing for Arsenal quite a lot, so he might consider. What's your thoughts on that, T? T is busy. Okay.
Oh, my bad. What did you say?
About Miles Lewis-Skelly, MLS going to United. Do you think it's going to happen? Do you think Arsenal will keep him, especially that he has been limited with his minutes with under Arteta?
I mean, if you look at it from his side, obviously, if he's not guaranteed minutes anytime soon, I wouldn't be surprised if he wants to leave. You know what I'm saying? If he's having talks with different clubs, his agents especially. The thing is, bro, this guy, you know, this is going to sound mad to some of you guys, but I would sell Calafiori before I would sell Miles Lewis-Skelly, personally.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Because not only skill-wise, defending-wise, attacking-wise, but also...
Is it because he's better or because he's injury-prone?
No, I think Miles Lewis-Skelly is not far off of Calafiori. If anything, Calafiori is hit and miss. He's not consistent. You know what I'm saying? The only inconsistencies that we've seen from Skelly is his defending. His attacking was never the issue. You know what I'm saying? And this guy's also not a left back. He's not a natural left back. This guy is a midfielder. So we need some more attacking-minded midfielders, and we're still refusing to use this guy in the midfield. You know what I'm saying? So for me, purely looking at him like a left back and then basing it on the fact that we have, there you go. You're 19 years old. You're not as injury-prone. Calafiori, at some point, his knee was detached from his leg, and they had to put it back together. You know what I'm saying? And he still has little injuries from that moment. Ever since that injury, bro, this guy has not been reliable whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? And to put your eggs into his basket, I don't think it's a smart idea. It takes me back to the Tomiyasu days. Yes, you've sold maybe I don't remember who we sold back then. I think it was Cedric that we've let go. Obviously, Cedric was shit as well. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. But we kept Tomiyasu as the backup fullback for both sides, but he was never available. You know, so he was always injured. But we never doubted his talents. He was a great service of He had some great service for his club. You know what I'm saying? I think he was a very talented footballer. He was just not reliable enough. Calafiori, yes, you can be reliable. Yes, you can be talented at times. Yes, you can, when you go forward, can look good. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes you're just a wild animal that doesn't know where to go, doesn't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? Skelly does know his identity. Skelly knows who he is and what he can do. You know what I'm saying? And he does it very well, in my opinion. So if I look at both players and I weigh these two situations, I would say I would keep Skelly over Calafiori. You know what I'm saying? There are teams that would want Calafiori. I would personally, if you want to get rid of one of the left backs, get rid of Calafiori and make this guy the backup. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Or play this guy in midfield more. Because if United buy this guy, bro, I'm going to be sick to my stomach, first of all. You know what I'm saying? Because if you want to sell him, don't sell him to a Premier League team. You know what I'm saying?
Who do you have in the left back anyway?
Because this guy this guy came from the academy. Everybody knows his mother, you know what I'm saying, from the YouTube videos, from the we are an Arsenal family, you know what I'm saying?
That's a mad thing.
No. You know what I mean? On the YouTube videos that everybody
interviews. He's agent, isn't she?
Yeah, I think one of the agents. Yeah, but not the agent. But
yeah.
Bro, this guy is Arsenal through and through. And to see him go to a club like Manchester United, I get sick thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? Aiden Heaven, who cares? They can have Heaven. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? But they cannot have Skelly or Nwaneri, in my opinion. Those guys are A-length through and through. And I would rather trust him than an injury-prone guy that I cannot trust fully. You know what I'm saying? Now that we have Nkapie, especially, sell Calafiori. I would do that personally. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, that's a fair take, and I think I agree with you when it comes to putting a cage around these kind of talents that we have. Speaking of talents, WaffleDon, he's a homegrown player, as you know. Also, if you sell him, it's going to be pure profit, right? So you have to take that in consideration. Assuming that he will go, or Manchester United already approached him, and let's say the agreement is there, okay? Would you, if you would sell him, how much would you put a price tag on him, right? Or would you sell Calafiori on a loss? What would be your approach?
Well, I'm not thinking of selling Skelly, and I knew this was going to come up in this stream today, so I'm not putting no money on his head, so I'm not even thinking about selling Skelly. If anyone's got to go, Calafiori's got to go. I just want the club to come out with, to quash these rumors as soon as possible. And if he starts playing regularly from now on to the end of the season, then there might be some kind of truth in this, because all of a sudden now Skelly's going to start playing now, because usually when they want to sell a player, in it, they put him out on the pitch, they let him play and stuff like that. But I think Heaven's got into his head, that bum that went to Man United, I think Heaven's got into his head. He's seen, because the money's good at Man United. Let's not get it twisted. Money's good at Man United. He'd be on some good money for a youngster going over there. But I just don't want to. I don't want to see him there. And this is Arteta's fault, by the way. Yeah, this ain't no one else's fault. This isn't the fans' fault. This isn't the players' fault. Yeah, this is Arteta's fault for not trusting him. He gave him all the trust last season. All of a sudden now, he doesn't want to give him. He doesn't want to put no faith in him, let him play and stuff like that. So I'm not selling him. I'm not putting no money on his head. If anyone's got to go, Calafiori's got to go. There's rumors that he wanted to go back to Italy anyway. So get rid of Calafiori. He's an injury-prone player. So yeah, we keep Lewis Skelly. We play him in his natural position. And I hope he can play in this position, because if anything happens to Rice, we're going to need someone like Skelly in that position. So yeah, and I hope he gets a chance in the FA Cup to play in that position. So yeah, let's keep him.
Assuming he's not willing to wait until he gets his chance, Gianni, do you think he's going to use? I mean, there's no smoke without fire, right? And let's say that this kind of news, he will use it as a bargaining chip with Arteta and the board that he will demand, let's say, more minutes, and let's say they say, hey, it's not guaranteed, this and this and this. I mean, how do you see it go? That kind of conversation, where do you think it would lead to, especially that the player wants to play more? He knows that he's good enough to do so. He wants to break into the international team and all that. How do you see that kind of conversation happening behind the scenes between Skelly's, let's say, agent and also the Arteta and the board?
Well, I think with exactly what you said, where there's smoke, there's fire, and same thing with Waffle said that this is Arteta's fault. I think the kid wants to leave. I think if I'm being honest with you, I think the conversation's already happened that he wants to leave and is looking for a move. Because again, here's the problem at the end of the day with all the transfer talk that we're talking about. We don't know who's going yet. We don't know who's staying. And the question is, even if that happens, is Arteta even going to rotate these guys? The problem at the end of the day is these guys aren't playing in their proper positions because Arteta failed to rotate during last year, which is why we were the walking wounded at the end of the season last year, which is why he got minutes and Ethan got minutes. This year, he hasn't rotated once again. Guys are hurt, and now all of a sudden the conversation's coming up that he wants to play. If he would have been getting minutes the whole time, we're not having this conversation. The problem is right now, he should be the guy getting the minutes for when Zubimendi comes off the pitch. He should be playing in the left 8. He's not a defensive midfielder. You have your defensive midfielder, Norgard. Why hasn't Norgard played more than 45 minutes in the Premier League?
And Marino as well, even though he's injured now.
See, he's one of the guys that's got to go because he's a bum. He's got to go. Massive contract for no reason. He's got to go. Ethan and Skelly are both players that we should be investing in for the future for this team. You need guys, especially right now with the amount of miles that all these guys have put on their legs over the last 2 years with injuries. Again, I think we're close to now 135 injuries total since the start of the 2024-2025 season. You're going to need fresh legs that are going to be able to carry some weight when they're called upon. I'm taking him over Calafiori. Just go get another left back then. You don't need a backup midfielder. You have him. Let him play. We see the thing that amazes me about this conversation with Skelly was when he got put in for the Atletico game, majority of the game, he was in the midfield. He ran through one of the talked about best defensive-minded teams like it was nothing.
Don't forget against Madrid last season, bro.
Again, and I was going to get to that. I was going to say Madrid as well last season. And the problem that we're having a conversation right now that we need creativity coming through the midfield to help us out in scoring goals. The fact that he's not even getting a look is a telltale sign that I think the kid's already sold, if I'm being quite honest with you. Ethan, the question about Ethan is he coming back on loan and staying and we're getting rid of Odegaard? Because remember, the talk was that Ethan got sent out because him and Odegaard had a falling out behind the scenes. And Arteta stuck his neck out to choose Odegaard over Ethan. He now has an egg on his head now, which is why he's tried to scapegoat Odegaard in some of the press conferences after the games. And the question is Ethan going to have a spot? If Odegaard's staying and Odegaard's not leaving, him and Skelly are gone. They're both gone because they're not going to stay for no minutes. I mean, and then you spent $50 million on Madueke, which was no sense because you had Ethan there in the first place. With the performances that Ethan put in at the tail end of the year, he should have been getting the backup role to Saka.
And Dauman now as well.
Exactly.
They suddenly didn't see him as a right winger. Suddenly this guy was a pure number 10 and he couldn't play at any position anymore. He couldn't. It's so weird to me, bro.
And on top of that, he's better than who we got. He's better than Odegaard.
Right now, yes.
I think
he's
Miles
better than Havertz.
Miles is confident in his own ability. So I see certain players, even youngsters, I think he's the type of player as well that would be like, you know what? If you don't want me, I'll go to another team and I'll ball out and I'll show you.
Exactly. And that's Ethan was the same thing. That's why he said, I want to go to Marseille. They play attacking football. He demanded to go to Marseille when it was the couple clubs that came up because he wants to play attacking football to show what he's got. They will bet on themselves and they'll end up leaving. That's why I'm saying when you look at this, we wasted $50 million on Madueke for no reason because you already had Ethan Nwaneri there. Plus, if we're going to go on track record, Ethan's the better player. Madueke's been crap since he left PSV. That was 4 or 5 years ago, the last time he was in Holland. So we paid $50 million for a guy that looked good 5 years ago. Ethan, who is as responsible as Skelly for putting in serious minutes last year when called upon, they should have been given minutes from the start of this season. So, again, for me, I agree. Sorry, I don't know your name. It's the first time I'm meeting you, but agree with what you said. Sell Calafiori. He's a bum. He's a bum. Here's an uncomfortable stat for all the Calafiori fans. Kieran Tierney was here for 5 years, technically 6, but was on loan for a full season to Sociedad. He was in an Arsenal shirt for 5 years. He had 197 days injured. Calafiori hasn't even done 2 seasons. He's on 235 days injured. And we spent 40 million on him and 10 times his wages from 12,000 euros a week to 120,000 pounds a week. You got to sell him for a loss and get a better player. He's too inconsistent.
Okay.
I agree.
Yeah, man, that's all about Maslow Skelly. I don't want the player to leave, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I do like Skelly.
I mean, what's that? Cash.
No. It's not about the cash. You know, I can put you in a scenario like, let's say Manchester United put a very lucrative offer there, and it's like 55 or 60 million pound. Now I'm just right. It's just a scenario, right? It's just I'm throwing things out there. It could be not true. It could be the offer of 30 million, whatever. I wouldn't sell him. But looking at the club, if they're gonna offer like 60 million, hypothetically, of course, I think the club would consider selling him. Honestly, especially that, you know, guys, our sales has been really shit. I mean, who was the best player that we sold in terms of price? Was it what, Chamberlain?
Smith Rowe.
Smith Rowe, Chamberlain, or Awobi, or Awobi, or something like that. I mean, we didn't even crack 40 mil.
Skelly would be our highest
exactly. So that tend for the club to consider that sale, right? And they'll say, "Oh, the player wants to leave. The player is not part of the project and all that crap," and they're gonna put some shenanigans out there.
Sammy,
you know what they would do?
My bad. I interrupted you. My bad, bro. But
sorry, go on.
The problem is we are not in a money crisis or anything. We should just look at this team, look at what works, keep those players, look at what doesn't work, and sell those players. Calafiori is inconsistent. He's injury prone. He can be good. He can be bad. Sometimes when he plays, he looks wild and doesn't look like in control at all.
I don't want to sell him, T. I don't want to sell him, bro.
No,
I don't want to sell him.
You don't want to sell Calafiori?
Yeah, I'll sell Calafiori, bro, just because of the injury prone issue. Availability is one of the.
I thought you were saying I don't want to sell Calafiori. I'm like, he sucks. Sell it.
Yeah,
no, I don't.
Why are we looking at this situation and thinking, oh, what we should look at pure profit with Skelly and look at the 50, 60 million?
You have to think of it like that because the club thinks of it that way.
Need that kind of money, right?
He's not. I understand, but he's not in your starting 11. He's not in your starting 11, right?
Money. If the club's making this much money, then you don't need to sell any of the youth players, and you can sell them for whatever they want.
I agree, but they would say, okay, we need to reinvest it somewhere else. They would say, okay.
But Sammy, this is my point. The fact that a club is making a record amount of money every single year, which is what Arsenal's done the last 3 years, the fact that we're talking about pure profit means there's something else going on that they're not being honest about. Because, again, we don't know how the books were actually done. You have to take into consideration how FFP works and how PSR, specifically to the Premier League, works is every 3 years. We have spent over £500 million in the last 2 years with transfer windows. So again, whether the record amount of money is coming in, you have to see how the books are laid out over time, because whether we have crazy amount of money, the crazy amount of money may not be able to be applied this year coming into the transfer window. That's why they're talking about pure profit, because pure profit then comes in and clears up space for you then to be able to bet against your books for the next 3 years. So if the books are screwed up, that's the problem to why we're talking about pure profit. Again, it's this. You can look the same thing with Chelsea. The exact same reason why Chelsea sold Conor Gallagher and chose him.
No, bro. You don't compare us to Chelsea. I'm sorry. Chelsea spent $2 billion.
It's the same situation, though. It's not.
No, it's not. It's not.
You know the Arsenal thing to do. You know what Arsenal will probably do, yeah? And it sounds crazy, yeah? They'll probably sell Skelly, yeah? And then buy another youngster from abroad, like the Ayub guy or whatever.
Yeah, that's most likely, which doesn't make sense.
That's such an Arsenal thing, isn't it? Just to.
And that's my point. Here, we did Waffle. You were on the stream after the League Cup final. We calculated Saka, Odegaard, Jesus, Trossard, Martinelli, and there's one other guy. There's 6 of them. Is $54.5 million a year in salary. 1 year. 6 guys. $54.5 million a year in salary is what we're giving away. Okay? That's the Havertz. That was the other one. Havertz. $54.5 million. Take the loss on Havertz. Take the loss on Jesus. Take the loss on Odegaard. You have to get that massive salary off the books. You won't need to sell the young kids if you do that. You won't need to. The money, the long-term money that you keep off the books is better. That way, then here, we still got to come up with $50 million for Hincapié. Off the top, $50 million's got to be paid for Hincapié before we worry about $100 million here and $100 million there. So you have to trim the fat.
You better win us the Premier League with that money, mate.
And plus, here's the thing. Again, why are we going to try to keep giving massive contracts to players that have proven they're not doing anything? Havertz ain't worth the money no more. Odegaard ain't worth the money no more. Get rid of them. Keep the young kids because they got legs now that can run for miles. And now we spend the money and we reassess where the money's at. Because we're teetering. Even the lucky thing that we have is that we have the Premier League. We are moving the same way that Juventus did in that 9-year run of giving crazy contracts out. They were winning, we weren't. But then all of a sudden, the chickens come home to roost that the books may go bad if we have a bad season. We can't keep doing this. It's unsustainable giving out these massive contracts. We have to get rid of the crap first before we worry about getting rid of the youth. Because for me, Skelly and Ranieri have earned their way into this team, at least rotation minutes. Okay. Not Havertz, Jesus. These guys have not shown up for us whenever we've called upon. They got to go. They got to go. Enough is enough with them guys.
Another player that has been linked to leave, and I want T's opinion about this player. But before then, WaffleDon, I think did I ask about this, about Skelly?
Did you ask me about Skelly?
Yeah.
Yeah. I gave you my answer.
Okay. So we have another right back. What I would say. Yeah, there we go. Ben White, right? Ben White is linked now to Everton, and I'll bring another piece of news that he is also linked to Newcastle as well. So it seems that a lot of English teams are circling around Ben White, right? We bought him for 50 mil, if I recall correctly, from Brighton. I don't know how much they will ask for, but would you guys sell him? I'll start with you, T. Would you sell Ben White and seek another right back that can complement Timber, like Livramento, or if there's any name in from the top of your head, would you consider?
The thing is, I like Ben White. You know what I'm saying? I think he's a great character to have in this team. You know what I'm saying? Because if you remember correctly, in the cup final when Turkey was doing keepy ups and our pussy ass players were just standing there and watching how he's doing it. You know what I'm saying? Ben White was the first guy that actually went there and kicked him the position after that. You know what I'm saying? So I like those kinds of personalities in this team. You know what I'm saying? A guy with actual cojones instead of the nice guys that we have, aka our captain Odegaard. You know what I'm saying? You know how I feel about those kinds of players. You know what type of
and the shithousery he brings in as well,
and the shithousery as well. And I will say this, and people can cuss me whatever they want. I don't care. I do believe that Ben White is still better going forward than Timber. I think Timber overall is a better player. But if you compare it to purely attacking, I do believe that Ben White is the better player still till this day. I think that the Ben White we've seen in the last few games that he played is not the fully fit Ben White, is not the fully game-ready Ben White. Because if you look at Ben White right now, he's not playing really good. So people are going to make this rumor up and say, oh, Timber is now the main guy. Ben White is underperforming, so he's probably going to get sold. You know what I'm saying? I personally, if I had the chance, I would not sell Ben White. I do believe that we have more dead wood in this team before that Ben White, aka Havertz, aka Jesus. You know what I'm saying? There are enough players that we need to sell before we think about selling Ben White. You know what I'm saying? And also one more thing. if you look at Timber current right now, this guy can barely walk at times. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The amount of minutes that this guy played is also because Ben White was injured. But if we're going to sell Ben White, now we need also a right back as well. So now you opened a new can of worms, a new problem in this team that you need to fix now. You know what I'm saying? Because if Timber
we have Mosquera, man.
Oh, yeah, cool. Mosquera, a 15 million guy that is rash in the big games. You know what I'm saying? We've seen what this guy done when he started. You know what I'm saying? We've seen what he's done when he started. This guy was flustered, making mistakes, and he's also making fouls every time, bro. You know what I'm saying? If this guy was our main right back starter, he would be on a yellow every game. You know what I'm saying? It's literally one of them. So I look at the situation and I look at Timber not being able to walk at times, being overplayed like Saka was from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? So now you sell one of your better defenders, in my opinion, who's great going forward, our best overlapper, if you ask me, in this team. You know, and now you want to sell him to an English team like Everton or Newcastle. I personally don't agree with it. I like Ben White. I believe that we should.
Yeah, but TK, I don't think we want to sell. I think he wants to play first team football, and that's the difference. I think Ben White wants first team football. I think this man has messed him up as well. He's messed him up mentally. Look at it. He played him whilst he was on. Come on, let's not forget how Arteta has. Treated this guy.
What I would do, first of all,
he played with an injury as well.
I would, before I would sell or buy anyone, I would replace the manager first. That's how I am.
But we're talking about the player. You know we're talking about the player right now. Like, you know, you're saying that you wouldn't sell him, but for me, I like Ben White and all those points that you made going forward and everything, but he's not gonna sit there. It's like the Alvarez argument. Obviously, he's not an Arsenal player yet, but it's the same type of argument. I don't think Ben White wants to sit on that bench because Timber's like an elite right back, and if Timber's fit, Ben White doesn't get anywhere near that first.
He probably start anywhere in the Prem, if I'm not mistaken.
He starts.
But that's the thing. I do believe that Arteta had to rotate more. I do believe that playing Timber this much to the point that he cannot walk is because of the lack of rotation in certain areas. If you rotated Ben White more, maybe he wouldn't have felt this way. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he wouldn't. Because if you look at, how should I say, Martinelli and Trossard, for example, Trossard was at first nagging about the fact that he wasn't the main left winger. But the amount of rotating he did with Martinelli in this last 2 seasons, he is not as angry anymore. If you look at how he plays suddenly, he's turned shit. Don't get me wrong. He's been terrible in the last year plus. You know what I'm saying? But he's not as angry anymore because Arteta started to rotate them way more than he before he didn't. You know what I'm saying? So now you have a situation with your right back. One of them is getting constantly injured. Looks like he cannot walk anymore at times, and the other one wants to leave because he doesn't play a lot, because he doesn't play enough minutes. In fact, you know what I'm saying? So I look at the manager again at the end. I think if you rotated these guys more, this situation would not have happened at all. And the same goes to Skelly as well. If you played Skelly in the midfield, rotate Rice more because Rice also looks knackered. Don't get me wrong. Rice looks like he's already checked out at times. You know what I'm saying? Same goes to Zubimendi. Zubimendi has the most kilometers in his leg in this league, by the way. That's a factual statement. This guy has the most kilometers in his legs. You know what I'm saying?
Second after Elliot Anderson. But yeah, he's one of the highest. You're right.
Did he get past him? Because literally a few weeks ago it was Zubimendi.
Last time I checked was Elliot Anderson. That was last week.
But that's recently, because recently it was Zubimendi.
But the argument is
more. That's the biggest.
The argument is though, if Ben White was to leave, would you guys accept Livramento as well? Because I think he's quality as well.
Ask that to Gianni. Gianni, would you take a Livramento as a second, of course, behind Timber, obviously?
Oh, yeah.
And also don't forget that Ben White, he doesn't want to stay like WaffleDon mentioned, that he wants to be a starter. He wants minutes. He is probably going to play for the international team as well. And also, don't forget the other fact. I keep going back to the financial part, which is he still holds a little bit of value there, right? But if you stop playing him completely, then his value. He's what 20? Hold on.
I'm gonna be like 27 now. Is he now? No.
I'm gonna check quickly. He's 28.
Yeah, so
28,
he's still got some value there. He's still got some value.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you could sell him for, I don't know, 30. Is it fair? 35, 30, maybe even 40 million since you bought him for 50. So it's not a big loss, basically, compared to the seasons that he played for us.
When did we buy him?
50.
No, when?
When it was
5 years
22? 22?
Yeah, we bought him 5 years ago. We bought him 5 years ago.
He was
and his contract runs to 2028. June 2028.
Well, if we bought him 4 years ago, that means his books are pretty much paid off. So that means it would be mostly pure profit for Ben White at this point. So you could sell him for whatever. Listen, me personally, I kind of feel the same way with Livramento as what I said about Alvarez. He's been getting so hyped this year. I don't know if Livramento would take a bench job. If he did, I would take him. I would definitely take him as a second to Timber if we could convince him to do that. Me personally, though, I'm not selling Ben White to anybody that's fighting for Europe next year in England. Because I'll be honest with you, I'm not. Everton's got a solid little team. If they're able to hold on to
guys, he'll never leave, right? He won't leave outside the Prem, right? He's not going to go to Syria or he's not going to go to London.
You don't know that. Spain, man. We put him on a plane to Spain. You could go Galatasaray.
Especially Newcastle. Newcastle Newcastle looking for a replacement for Trippier, right?
Yeah, okay, but see again, then I don't know. I would see much more Ben White going to Everton then, because again, if he's going to stay there and Livramento doesn't leave, you know what I mean? I don't know if he's going to take another bench role if he's looking for first team minutes.
Can I ask you guys a quick question? Just sorry, Sammy, don't want to take over the show.
No, please go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry, but I'm looking at the game. I'm looking at the game through your eyes, but I'm also looking at the game through my eyes as well. So imagine Arsenal, and I'm doing a scenario. Imagine Arsenal do a crazy thing today, a crazy thing. They win the league and they get over the line in the Champions League. I'm just giving you a crazy scenario. Yeah, I'm a bit mad. I've been injecting bloody whatever in my veins.
Dopamine as
some crazy thing like that. Yeah, are you telling me players are not going to want to come to this team? Are you telling me the top players are not going to want to come into this team and we are not going to entertain them?
For what?
The league is more enough. The league is enough. The league is enough for you to convince any player, in my opinion.
Because surely you want to get better, isn't it?
League is enough, but Livramento's playing for the starting right back job for England, no?
Is it? Oh.
It's between him and Ben White.
Oh, is it between them two? Ain't there no one else?
Reece
James, we don't know if he's going to keep walking for much longer. So again, here's my point. There's a way to look at certain players, and there's a way to look at it from, do you want constant questions of people getting minutes? If Ben White's leaving for minutes, Livramento right now and Ben White are the guys slugging it out for the right back spot. Why is a guy who's going to be trying to go for a starting position for his national team going to come here for backup minutes? Especially when we've seen Thomas Tuchel tell these guys, you need to be playing if you want to make the national team. That's my point. If you're going to look at saying the best right back or the second best right back for Spain or something, you got a better shot at doing that than going for guys who are playing for a first place
But no one's ever going to bench Timber though. Then no one's ever going to bench Timber.
Again, no shit. So you get somebody who's good enough that's going to entertain being a majority bench player.
I mean, that's the problem though.
So an older player or a younger player? How does that?
No, you can get experienced players, but again, you look for proper players that are going to be okay with doing that. Not just we're going to go get a full 22-man roster, 2 men in every position that are going for the first team spot in every single national team. Ain't nobody taking bench roles like that, man. Nobody's taking bench roles like that. You're seeing it all over Europe that players want out of the big clubs and not being bench players anymore. That's what I'm saying. You have to look. If you look at it, right? Let's say Livramento, just for the argument's sake, Newcastle want 30, 40 million for him so that they can go and spend money on other players, right? You think Livramento is going to want to go from starting, fighting for first team right back for England to now guaranteed to maybe drop to second or even third, depending on what happens with Reece James. He's not going to want to do that. Go get somebody who you know is solid, but is not going to be, at the same time, they do the job what you need. They still put pressure on the starting player. But again, Timber's the best right back in the world defensively. Offensively, and if you combine everything, it's Hakimi. But Timber's right behind him. Everybody knows Timber, all you need is just rotation. If you get a guy who's good enough to play rotation that's okay with that role,
give us an example who could rotate with Timber then. Just anyone, name out of the hat. Someone, anyone out of the blue.
For a right back?
That can rotate with Timber. That is not too expensive. That I'd be happy to just, play second fiddle. Anyone.
One to think of off the top of my head, you could look at Palestra, for example, at Milan.
I think Singo as well from Galatasaray. I think he'd be a good shout as well.
Singo too. But again, those guys know they're not beating Timber. But when called upon, they're going to show up and do the job you need.
What about that guy from Brentford? The long throw guy.
Oh, Coyote.
Coyote.
The Italian kid. Yeah, same thing. I get him.
Josh Nichols.
But I'd get in. Again, that's the reason why I'm saying you build the team the way that you need to. Not superstar every single position. Guys want to play. Guys are not going to want to only get 20-minute cameos, 30-minute cameos. They're going to want to.
Yeah, but you make it sound like he has to have a cushion job, like he's guaranteed to start. Man, you shouldn't feel that way as a footballer.
Brother, you can have certain players have cushion jobs. Timber is one of them because he's one of the top two best. The midfield
because he earned it, right? Because he earned it.
The midfielders and the strikers haven't earned it. You need to worry about spending more money on depth in those areas than the defense. That's all I'm saying. I'd rather have 6 midfielders that cost 40 million apiece than have 3 world-class defenders and then spend a shit ton of money on the defense for backups, and it takes away money from spending on the midfield and the strikers. That's all I'm saying. There's ways to build squads that way.
We've got wingers that ain't even put it, we've got 300k wingers. We've got 300k wingers that ain't even putting it in. Do you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Ain't even that good.
Exactly. Anyway, guys, I have to leave, so I'm gonna catch you guys next time.
Yeah, man. Cheers.
Hold on, bro.
So yeah, I mean, for me, I think it's kind of difficult to convince. I mean, yes, I agree, it's difficult to convince the player, but it's also not crazy for you to say, hey, listen, you're gonna have rotation. We're gonna swap players here around. He's a young player, Livramento. He's 23 years old. He's not like 28 or 29 at his prime. He needs to, to play here and now. And I know that Timber's young as well, but still, I mean, if you think you're good enough to start for the national team, then you should be good enough to take over Timber. At least to believe that, right?
And the thing sorry to cut you. The thing is as well, this is World Cup year as well. So players are going to want to move, yeah? It's a new start next season. If we're Premier League champions or whatever, players get gas when they hear the top teams coming in for them. Yes, it might be like, oh, I don't know if I fancy against Timber. But then the player might be thinking, maybe I do fancy it because I know he gets a few injuries. So I'm probably going to get, the odd game here, there, and I'll probably get on. So I just don't think it's just cut and dry. I think certain positions in a team, yes, like obviously the Alvarez and Gyökeres thing. Alvarez not coming to Arsenal, yeah, because Gyökeres is holding on that spot, and especially if Gyökeres is doing some bits next season, yeah, then then it might be difficult. But there's no smoke without fire with these links, my bro. There must be something.
But again, what I'm saying is, okay, we just had the same conversation before. You want to spend 40 million for a backup as a fullback, or you want to be able to go full blown 100 million for the striker? Because if it comes down to it where you can't do both, this is where the sense comes in. This is all I'm saying. I'd rather go and get a fullback that is a solid fullback that's 25 million for the bench because Timber's guaranteed to start, right? I'd rather spend 25 million there, a lower contract on a backup player, than then be able to go out and get what I guarantee need, rather than spending money for more bench players and handicapping me to then find out, you know what, I can't spend the full amount of money.
I hear that. I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, but let's take Liverpool, for example. Ekatike, 80 million or whatever, how much he cost. And you've got Isak, obviously he's got injured and stuff like that, 100 and whatever, 30 mil, yeah? The big teams, they're doing it. Thing bought Semenyo. They bought Semenyo. City bought Semenyo. They've got Haaland. They've got Marmoush. This is what the big teams do. They need full resources. I'm not saying in every position, but I think Arsenal in certain positions, we need an upgrade. Like, obviously, Zubimendi, I could do with an upgrade in Zubimendi's position. Do you know what I'm saying? I would pay more money for an upgrade in Zubimendi's position. And I would put Zubimendi on the bench. And if he isn't happy, I'll sell his ass. I think there's certain... I think sometimes I need to take the sentiments out. If these players aren't willing to fight for positions, in a new team, then do you know what? I don't want you. I don't want you. Simple as that.
I love that approach. And I think I totally agree with WaffleDon here. 100%. That should be the approach from Arsenal, taking it a level higher and be ruthless in that sense, so that if you're not going to perform, get your ass out of here, right? I don't care if it's Saka, I don't care if it's Saliba, I don't care if it's anybody in the team. If they're not performing to the levels, then sorry, hold the bench. If you're not happy with it, get your ass out of my club. I mean, that should be the mentality for Arsenal moving forward. If we do want to be one of the top teams in Europe, then WaffleDon, that's the right approach in my opinion. But speaking of injuries, Arsenal picked up a lot of injuries from the final. I don't know where it came from. How the hell did we manage to get 6 players, first-team players in Arsenal, injured? Right? We have Gabriel, Saliba, Odegaard. I mean, Odegaard was injured even before that. Eze, calf injury, Trossard, Timber. The list is just massive. And these players are important for Arsenal. And not only that, I just want to caveat with a news that Sami Mukbel actually put on his Twitter account.
Sorry.
Okay, Eberechi Eze is set to miss also key games from Arsenal in the trophy run as he has a calf injury. It's going to take 4 to 6 weeks. So that's a lot. That's a lot, guys. What's happening in the Arsenal sphere and realm and trainings? Well, what's going on that we had all these injuries and players getting called back from their international duties, the likes of Saliba, the likes of Gabriel? Do you think it's a tactical thing that Arsenal did just for them not to go for the international matches, or is it true that they are injured? Well, what's your thoughts on these kind of news that are circling the Arsenal fitness and injuries?
Oh, I'm not shocked that all these injuries are there. We've been saying Saliba's been hurt since the Liverpool game at the beginning of the year. He hasn't been the same. And there's no rotation. What are we talking about here? This isn't a shock. This isn't a shock.
But they play. I mean, Saliba or Gabriel just played in the final, right? And all of a sudden we hear these kind of injuries.
Brother, at this point in the season, how many times have you heard interviews with pros that they say at this point in the season you have some kind of injury? We've heard it from every single pro that has ever talked. We've heard it from Ferdinand. We've heard it from Terry. We've heard it from the best of the best. This late into the season is when you got to push through and you still have some type of injury during the season. We've heard this multiple times. I'm not shocked by this. Again, no rotation.
So it's okay.
It's no rotation.
So it's solely on the manager.
Yeah, 100%. Because here, okay. Why are we okay? How many players have gotten hurt just in warm-ups? That means we knew the player was hurt.
Right?
That's on top of that, what the hell are you doing in training to even accrue all these injuries?
Marine training.
Whatever it is. But you're doing constant training like that throughout the season when it's not necessary. It's not.
No.
It's not.
Yeah, we've heard it too many times. Players.
This has been the history the last 3 years. This has been the history the last 3 years.
But we didn't have this squad, right, to rotate at least. WaffleDon, do you think this Black Ops training that Arteta is doing, you think it's gonna, impact our season?
It's
We have the depth to go through it. The squad depth. I mean,
it's already impacted our season, but to further impact, yes, probably will, because you have to remember that he's under pressure to get us over the line, and he's going to do whatever he needs to do, to save his neck, so to speak. Because if you saw the way Kroenke shook his hands, when, up there and the shake, that wasn't a shake to say, you know what, well, you're
doing all right.
Yeah, that was a shake to say, you better get me that Premier League. You better get me that Premier League. I think there's going to be more injuries. I don't believe all of these injuries are true. I just think this might be the international fever bug, where Arteta likes, because Arteta does like to lie as well at times. But I think he's done it. I listen. I'm not a person that likes lying, but I think in this instance, I think he's been a bit smart with his lies, because in previous months, can you remember Gabriel was out injured when he went international break, and that impacted our season, because we had to play Mosquera in that position as well. Saliba also got injured as well, so I can still see some injuries.
Odegaard.
Yeah,
that's not an injury.
No,
not an injury.
Yeah. Anyway, we know. Well, Anyway, I've spoken about it anyway. But I just think, you know what, he just needs to
chill out a bit. Huh?
Not chill out. Yeah, he needs to chill out, and he needs to let players rest, because forcing these players and stuff. Yeah, use your squads. You got the likes of what's his name?
Midfield Norgard?
Well, yeah, you've got the likes of Norgard, you've got the likes of Dalman, you've got the likes of other players that can play. Miles, Skelly, you've got these players, play them. I wouldn't be so hard on the manager, if he, if he played them and all right, we didn't do as well. But because you're not playing them, it just makes it worse for himself. So
facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
Okay.
Look, even the choice to send Ethan away on loan shows how stupid it is right now.
Oh my God.
Ethan walks into that left wing position. Ethan and Max Dahman walk into the starting left wing position right now. Right now, because of the problem.
I could see them, yeah.
I think even the right position as well.
Exactly. The right. Well, I was going to say,
yeah, that as well.
And even now with the Eze injury, Ethan walks into the number 10. Even if you want to keep,
I heard Odegaard's going to be fit.
Huh?
I heard Odegaard's going to be fit after the international break.
Ethan still walks into the number 10, even if Odegaard's fit. Again, same thing. We're hoping for somebody to do something that hasn't done it for 2 years.
But is Odegaard going to give us what we want as a 10?
No.
Go default back to getting the ball.
From what I've seen the past 2 seasons, man, I'm not going to put my hopes high.
I would believe more in Odegaard coming back and doing what he would do if Arteta let the handbrake go. If Arteta let the handbrake go and we started playing more forward thinking, I would give Odegaard more of a benefit of the doubt than coming into the same thing. Bro, we just said the exact same thing about Eze this game with the League Cup. Why is your number 10 coming back into the box to play defense? He needs to be further up the pitch to give an outlet to help out the striker. Just look at the way we played. The long ball with a lone forward with 4 guys there. Even if he wins the ball, there's nobody for him to pass to. And we're hoping Gyökeres, who can't dribble, is going to dribble past 4 guys. Come on, man. This is simple crap that's going on here. That's why I said, even if Odegaard comes back, Ethan Nwaneri walks into that 10 position for what we need.
Now, if you're talking about the City game, I mean, if I discuss that in isolation, tactically speaking, I mean, you know how Arsenal likes to build up from the back, right? And the way City put the 4-man in front of Kepa, they didn't even pressure Kepa. They allowed Kepa to have free reign there. So I said, do whatever you want, bro. They know that Kepa is not good with the ball. He's not good with the passes. He doesn't have the long range passes in him, and neither Zubimendi or Rice helped the defenders to get out of that press. And that's how I looked at it, because and they just stood still, because that's an obvious instruction from Arteta. That's purely tactical from Arteta. However,
can I pose you a question, Sammy?
Yeah, go ahead.
What was the whole point then of us going after Kepa when everybody said we need to get another goalkeeper like Raya that's good with his feet? Because the biggest problem, I've heard this been thrown out. Oh, City did this. City
no. I don't want a goalkeeper who's good at his feet. I'm saying the
again, but here's my thing.
The midfielders should have helped the defense to get out of the press. I didn't even mention.
So then again, let me just finish what I'm saying here. Right, we've come on this show week in and week out and ask why are the fullbacks so far up the pitch when we start the build from the back, right? And if you got a profile in Kepa, that his profile is supposed to be good with his feet. I don't personally care for goalkeepers that are good with their feet. I'd rather you just be a great shot stopper. But at the end of the day, he put his neck on the line for Kepa, said he's got a similar profile to Raya. And we know with all the games that Arsenal play that the fullbacks are further up the pitch and the wingers are further up the pitch. What is the point of this whole nonsense that you can't chip the four?
That's the problem,
was wide open the whole game. That's why this whole thing that Carragher and all these guys did is all BS. That 4-2-4 didn't do anything. What they took away was the element of surprise that we immediately give the ball to Magalhaes and Saliba to slowly build up. That's all they did. The fullbacks were wide open on the sidelines the entire time because of how far forward Pep put it. The wingers were further up, and all we chose to do was kick long ball to the center of Gyökeres. All that is a bunch of nonsense. All this game is, down to a science, is Arteta refused to take the blueprint of how to beat City from the way Real Madrid ripped them apart, because that was Real Madrid's B team that killed them. We said, we're not going to do this. We're going to play it our way, and we're going to not take anything into consideration and play fast through the middle. And once that happened, we were done. We made the worst defense that City's had in probably 15 years look like the old Milan. Everything we did was incorrect. First of all, we all said it that Raya should have started. And if Raya starts, it shows that whole press thing that City did would be null and void. It was the fact that Arteta was too scared to say, just go at them. Because the first 20 minutes, we should have blown the doors off of City. We were miles better than them the first 20 minutes. And then by the end of the first half, we were holding on for dear life because the handbrake got thrown on. And then the handbrake won the rest of the game, and we shot ourselves in the foot. That's all it was. It wasn't, Pep didn't do no masterclass as far as formational choice in any of that.
No, I think he did. He did something right. I think he did something right, and Arteta couldn't respond to that. That's all I'm saying. I mean, I'm not gonna get even further talking about the game because we need to move on to the the final topics.
I'm sorry.
No. It's fine. It's fine. I do agree with a lot of things that you said. I just thought that Pep, the way he set up his team was better than how Arteta set up his team. Plus the personnel, right? It all factored in that we looked horrendous in that final. Plus, I think the occasion was too big for the players. The topic that I want to bring, it's a weird one, guys. The news are not many news outlets that are talking about it, but it's an exclusive thing that Matteo Flamini, former Arsenal player, he's a billionaire now. If you guys don't know, he has his own company. He's worth around 10 billion in the market right now, according to props. And you know what? He's considering buying out Stan Kroenke. And I don't know how much truth is there, but I can see it. Okay, he could consider buying Kroenke out of their share from the club. But what do you guys think of this piece of news? Do you think it's something that will help Arsenal, or are you guys, or do you guys trust that the Kroenkes have a plan in place and want what's best for the club, and they're doing the best they can in terms of running this club business wise and also footballing wise?
Who's going? I'll go first. I think Kroenke's especially Josh. I think this is his new toy now. I think he's starting to understand, how football works now. His club, is close to winning a Premier League, close to winning, close to finally, lifting a big trophy. And I think success breeds success. So I think, it's an addiction, isn't it? It's like if he sees it once, he's going to want to keep seeing it. He's going to want to keep seeing it until he gets bored. And I think they've not had that buzz. Josh hasn't had that buzz of, FA Cup, but he hasn't had that buzz of,
I think they had, but just not in football, right? Probably. American sports,
not in Premier League. I think, the UK is a stronghold for, a strong asset. Arsenal is a massive asset, globally, Arsenal around the world, they're known around the world, and I think they're going to want to keep that. I don't think they're going to want to sell it anytime soon. The only way they would sell
above market value. You think they wouldn't above market value?
Maybe, but I just think the project's just too good for them right now. Remember, they're thinking of building outwards, building shops and all these kind of things below, because they can see profit, substantial profit. So I don't think right now, 5-10 years maybe, might be a different scenario. With Stan, he might have passed away by then, but who knows? I don't know. I just can't see it right now. But and how old's Flamini now? He's about 40 now, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's probably roughly around the 40 years old now. So he could be the next guy. He could be the next big guy, But yeah, 10 billion. Wow. He must be the richest footballer in the world, isn't it? Ever.
Yeah, he's the only billionaire. I mean, barring Ronaldo, who just entered the billionaire level. But speaking of billionaires and stuff like that, I look, Flamini, I don't know him personally, like how he thinks. I haven't really seen any kind of interviews for him, so I genuinely don't know what he wants in life. I mean, obviously he's a successful businessman. I mean, from nothing he became a billionaire. I give him kudos to that. But moving on, like the question is that I don't know the answer to is, did the Kroenkes break even or broke even when it comes to the investment to the club? They put a certain money to the club, and they pumped a lot of money to the club. Now the question is, have their ROI or return of investment already start generating profit for them? I don't know the question for that. Or are they still pumping money to generate revenue or return of investment later on? Like you said, within the 5 years, they start generating profits or profit margins to say. Gianni, I mean, I would ask you personally, because I think you're more involved in the American sports, the NBA, and you would know more than me, at least, I would say, about how the Kroenkes operate when it comes to investing in entertainment and clubs and football in general. Do you think they are the right people or the right owners to take Arsenal to success? Have they done it in the US enough to prove? Do they have the pedigree when it comes to that kind of things? What's your feeling as an Arsenal fan and as a fellow an American who actually watched the Kroenkes close enough, right, to see what they've done in their respective assets in the US?
I mean, they've everything that they're doing with Arsenal right now is what they've done with all their sports teams in the US, and all their sports teams have won. All their sports teams have won the respective title. They've turned them around. They've been better teams overall and have been competitive consistently, much more than where they were when they got them. The Denver Nuggets, this is the best that this team's been in quite a long time. They redid their stadium. They redid the Colorado Avalanche, the hockey team that they owned. They redid Seattle Sounders. They redid the Rams is the biggest one, and the Rams were just in the second Super Bowl in 5-6 years, which is massive for them. So, listen, at this current point in time, with what I've seen in America, I'm not too opposed if the Kroenkes hold on to the team, because it looks like they're moving the same way. The biggest difference between, again, I say this all the time, the biggest difference between the Kroenkes and the rest of their sports teams, except the Rams, the success when they decided to invest in it happened a lot quicker than with Arsenal, because they really didn't need to do that much with the stadiums like they did when they left Highbury to go to the Emirates. So the Rams, and again, I always say this, I have always stood by with the way that I look with them. The reason why $1 billion was pumped into this team was to keep everybody preoccupied with Arsenal going from where everybody perceived them to be under Emery up until now, because there's 10 times the amount of money in the NFL than there is in the Premier League. Now that they have gotten the Rams situated for good now, they're in LA, their stadium is on their way of being paid off, and they're making the Rams are being much more successful than what they were in St. Louis. Now it looks like they're turning their focus to Arsenal. I mean, here, WaffleDon brought it up earlier, that still shot of Josh looking at Arteta. We've never seen Josh look at Arteta like that in the past. It was all happy-go-lucky. It was high fives. It was hugs, smiles all around. You're doing a great job. That looked a little different. And as I've said as well, 7 or 8 board members have walked out of this team over the year with the changes that Berta's doing behind the scenes. Now, for me, the fact that they went out and got a sporting director at the capable level and the know-how of Berta, my trust is in them and trusting him. If he's going to be the one that's running the show and it's not all these bozos that we've had on the board for eons making stupid decisions and, oh, we need to do this for financial reasons and blah, blah, blah. If Berta's actually going to be given the power to run it, then I don't care if the Kroenke stay or if Flamini buys it at that point. I don't care, because you actually have somebody that knows what the hell he's doing. You know what I mean? So at that point, it is what it is. Either way, it doesn't bother me. They would, if they sold Arsenal, they're going to be selling Arsenal for like 4, maybe 5 billion because of the added amount of revenue. I think they would sell, because I think, what was it? They bought it for 1.7 or 1.8 billion when they bought it.
And I don't remember when the acquisition happened, but yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're doubling your money at that level, if Flamini's got the money to do that and he wants to do that, I don't think the Kroenkes would say no. Like I said, at the end of the day, their biggest investment is the Rams. Arsenal's never going to touch the Rams when it comes to money, just because the way the NFL is ran. So I wouldn't say yes, they would sell. And I'm not going to say that they may not be the right people in charge, because, like I said, I trust the fact that they went out and got Berta. If they were running everything like how it was and it was Edu, then yeah, I would say get Flamini in here, buy them out, and let's clean all this shit up. But the fact that they've started to clean it up on their own, I guess I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I was going to say, Gianni, and I'm not saying this as anything of coming close to, you know, American sports and stuff like that, but with the commercialization now of, you know, you're seeing more fans in America, you know, wearing jerseys, you know, you've got commentary, you've got ex players out there doing punditry and stuff like that. Do you not see like this brand, Arsenal as a brand, getting bigger and bigger and bigger? I'm not saying it's gonna be on an NFL scale or any of their other clubs, but can you not see like it's definitely, something's definitely happening, you know, around, you know, like, you know, the US and stuff in terms of fandomship. You've got us talking on streams, you know, you've got fans having their comments and stuff like that. So I think the Kroenkes see this, and you know, fans want to come across the waters to watch games and stuff, and these are opportunities to make even more money, you know, charge whatever fans and stuff like that. So I think the Kroenkes, especially Josh, I do think, yeah, that he loves this club as a project. Yeah, I do think that it's grown on him. You know, at first it might have just been just like a little play thing, but now I think he's seen the competition with the teams like Man City, how difficult it is to beat these teams, you know, to win trophies, the likes of Liverpool's. You've also got the likes of Man United, who are massive, biggest club in England, or arguably biggest club in England, still not winning major trophies right now. But there's all of that, all of these things, and all of these, You know, you've got the American owners, Man United. You know, you've got the Saudi owners here, there, and everywhere. I just think these guys are loving it. You know, I think they got their little banter between, you know, the billionaires and all that. Look at my club and all that kind of stuff. I think that
my club is bigger than your club. You know what I mean? That kind of conversation.
I definitely hear you. Again, it depends who you see. The question you're posing is more so, what type of a business owner are they?
Yes,
that's basically the question that you have to, and that's the question that all of us have to ask when it comes to this, because
which is relative to us as fans, right? Because we don't care about their profit, whatever. We care about what's good for our club as football fans.
True, but at the same time, you know, again, whether you care about it or not, you actually do need to know nowadays when we talk football, because the money. When it comes to the Premier League, the money is much more of a part of football than what it was 20 years ago. It was much more.
Of course. It will set up your expectation, basically, and what you can do.
Your expectation, because you know what type of owner that you have. You know, historically, with what we've said with the Kroenkes, I always say the Kroenkes remind me of the Chicago sports teams owners. They convinced the fans to just buy in, and never do anything beneficiary to change you. And 10 years go by, and now everybody's okay with us just being stagnant. While the Kroenkes, what I'm saying, from what I've seen with what them do with their teams in America, they've all won. And I see the same things that they're doing with Arsenal now. That's why I'm saying if they continue, I'm fine with them staying if they're going to win. But if it's going to be, oh, we had a chance of winning, we have to start all over again. Flamini, come here and clean this up, please.
Yeah, I didn't do this.
Because then what? We had a run of 4 years, and now they've slowly convinced us indirectly that they're good, but now we have to start all over again, and now it's another however long and all that. That's the way, I mean, it depends. For the business perspective of it, again, the only reason why I could see the Kroenkes selling is because the numbers don't match up pay. When you compare, if I'm looking at it from how the NFL works to the Premier League. The biggest Premier League game, which a lot of them this season have been Arsenal because we've been leading the league for so long. You get anywhere from 1 billion to maybe close to 1.5 billion people watching that game every weekend. The NFL doesn't get that anywhere close, but yet if you look at the amount of money the NFL is all at a bad year for the NFL, they're always making at least 10 billion more than the Premier League. So that's
I think related to sponsorship. Yeah. Their sponsorship is higher. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
If you look at the top teams, like the most money worth franchises, I think it's only Real, Barcelona, and Manchester United that are in the three that are football clubs compared to what goes on in America. So that's why I said you have to see what they are as a business person. If they want to sell the club because they just want to focus on the money in America, and if Flamini's serious, go ahead, buy it.
So, in simple terms, I would ask you guys, WaffleDon, you're happy with the Kroenkes? Yes, no?
This guy. This is what I hate about
very simple thing.
On the spot, man.
Okay. Let me ask Gianni. As things stand, are you backing the Kroenkes? Yes, no, or you want them out? As things stand right now, today. 27th of March, 2026.
I back them. I give the Kroenkes.
Okay.
I give the Kroenkes the end of next season. The end of next season. Before I
WaffleDon, I'll move to you.
Just put it this way. I'm. Yeah, in a minute. Yeah, I am satisfied right now.
Okay.
They need to bring silverware in, and if nothing happens, they need to
100%. Yeah.
They need to sack him, and if they don't, then you know what? I will lose a lot of confidence in this ownership.
I totally agree with both of you. Last thing before we wrap up, guys, I want your final expectation.
It's hard too, bro. When we talk about owners, guys like Abramovich, guys like Berlusconi who owned Milan, guys who liked they don't
Kvaratskhelia, make those anymore. They don't
come, but even if they do come around, you have to get lucky as to be the club to do it. It doesn't happen for everybody. That's the thing. Not everybody falls in love with the club and wants to just splash cash for the club for no reason like that. That's the other thing.
The only two owners that I've seen the past 2 decades who done that is Abramovich with Chelsea and Khaldun with City. Those are the two.
No, look at Moratti at Inter.
Yeah, but for a very short time compared to City, compared to Chelsea.
He spent $1 billion long before Abramovich.
They fell off a cliff. The Serie A overall fell off a cliff. That's why I don't.
But he doesn't own Inter anymore. That's what I'm saying. He was.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
If you look at the amount of money, he nearly spent $2 billion in 18 years of ownership.
Let me ask you. Let me ask you this: if Abramovich was still the owner of Chelsea, where do you think Chelsea would have been?
If they're still the owner, they wouldn't be in the situation they're in now.
Where would they be, in your opinion?
They'd be contending for a title.
Yeah,
they'd be contending
for a title. Right? They're going to be favorites in the UCL, right? So that's what I'm saying. I mean, the ambition that guy has. Oh man, it's just insane. I wish he was.
That's why I'm saying Inter was same thing again. Mancini won 7 or 8 titles in a 4-year span, and because it wasn't Champions League, he sacked them. We would kill to have a 4-year span of winning 8 trophies right now.
I want only 2 years. 2 years, bro. I don't want to. 2 years, I'm not greedy, man. Just give me the 2 years, and then we'll talk about the 4th one or the 3rd one.
I'm greedy. It's been too long for this one.
Yeah, I understand, but let's get the league first, and then we can talk from there. And speaking of the league, speaking of silverware, before we wrap up, guys, I want your feeling and thoughts. I know it's we lost in the final of the Carabao Cup, so this is what's left for us on the table when it comes to silverware. 7 games to win the Prem, 5 games to win the UCL, and 3 games to win the FA Cup. What is your expectation? WaffleDon, go ahead, my friend.
Premier League. Finals. Champions League.
I know you want them all. I want them all.
Semi-final, FA Cup.
So semi-final, FA Cup, final, UCL, and the league. Basically, we're gonna win it.
Yeah.
Okay. Gianni.
I think we're only winning the league.
League. Okay. What about the UCL and FA Cup?
UCL, we're going out in the semis again.
Semis. Okay.
Yeah. Barcelona, yeah,
and I'm even being nice to that because with Eze being hurt and we don't know the extent of everybody, Sporting's not going to be easy.
Yes, that's a good point.
Yeah, so I'd like us to get to the semis. Finals, I don't think is happening because after the way we played against City, Barca smoke our ass. So
we got Captain Oda got Oda back.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, when Yuri walks into this team. I think we can get to the final of the FA Cup if we don't draw City, but winning it if we play City in the final, I think would be I don't know. I honestly don't know. So I'll stick with what Waffle said. I'll say semi-final FA Cup, semi-final Champions League, and we win the league. I'm barely still on the fence though. For this League Cup, I don't really know if I'm really confident in the league either.
Ooh, no, I think we're gonna get the league, but I don't think we're gonna get the rest. But I agree with you. Mine is the league, probably semifinals of the UCL, and probably also semifinal of the FA Cup, just because of the result that we had.
Because you and me have been the positive ones, and we both said we demand.
Yeah, but that was before we watched that shit in the final, bro.
But that's why I'm at. If he wins the league, but he doesn't win the others, and we said that it was mandatory to get 2, do you keep him or do you sack him even though he wins?
I remember when we said a major, right?
I've always said Premier League. I said nothing else.
We said major.
We said either. Yeah.
We also said from the position that we were in, 2 trophies were mandatory, whether it was one of the majors and one of the cups. We said major is mandatory. For me, if all he does is win the league, I still want him sacked. Because I said I'm sticking on my 2 trophies. For me, that's my opinion.
Honestly, I don't see us sacking him, and I don't think we will sack him after the league. To be honest,
I asked your opinion. If you were Berta,
I would if we're going for somebody like Enrique, right?
Okay.
If we're personally, I would go for Enrique, even if he wins like Enrique. I think he's a way better Matt coach. Like, and obviously we're not going to
You're
give him
deflecting, man. Is it? Do you still? He's asking you. Do you still have?
Oh, that's a fair. That's a fair.
No, I will not sack him if we're not going to get
available.
Yeah,
he's sacking him. That's fine.
Yeah.
All right. Well, no, but what do you think? Do you still think we need to win two? Oh, so you won't sack him?
If he won,
I don't think we're going to win the two.
If he won the FA Cup in the league, or he won the FA Cup in the Champions League, he gets to stay. If he win here, I'll make this concession. If we fuck the league up, but he wins the Champions League, I'll let him stay because we never won the Champions League. Even though I think that's the hardest one.
There's context.
But if it's just the league, for me, he's got to go. He's got to go. You have to look for a better manager.
Well, what about if he wins the FA Cup and you're jumping around your boxer shorts? You're gonna let him stay?
The FA Cup alone?
Bro. Nah, bro. No.
Bro, if it's the FA Cup alone, I'll fly to England and drag his ass out of that club.
Nah, bro. No, bro. No, bro. At least a major, bro. But FA Cup, I know all of them are majors considerably, but you know what I mean? Like the big one, like we wanted the league, specifically the league. The UCL, you know what? Gianni's right. I mean, we never won it, so it's something that will be marked in history for Arsenal, that he's the first manager ever to do it in Arsenal. But the thing about the UCL, we've seen a lot of clubs who actually win it and just fell off a cliff, like Chelsea, for example, back in 2021, for example. But the league, I think you can build from there. I think you can build from the UCL, but I haven't seen clubs can build from UCL to the league. We've seen Liverpool, probably they won with club UCL and then the league, and then they competed against City. But I want to control first the domestic side, and then I can go international.
I'm winning the league. You have to understand this. If we don't win the league, then you might as well just give up streaming, because you cannot give City this title and think next season.
I don't want to think about WaffleDon.
That we're going to win it.
Agreed.
You can't do it. You can't do it. 38 games will be the biggest bottle ever. We can't do it.
It's true. It would be devastating, man. I'm probably going to take a long ass vacation.
Sammy, we were the positive ones. We said we were winning two. I said we were winning 2 trophies 2 weeks ago. That's why
I said domestic treble, bro. What you talking about?
You lot clipping yourselves up. I
got clipped saying it. I got clipped saying it. Yeah.
This is why I asked you that question. Is it still 2 trophies mandatory? Because for me, if it's the league, I'll thank you for the league, but you got to win the FA Cup too in order.
No, here's the thing. I don't want to show up like a flip flop, because I said if he wins one of the majors, then okay. So for me, the majors were the Prem or the UCL. But yeah, I see your point where we had we were in the position to win multiple trophies, and then he just flopped or bottled it basically. And I see that argument as well. Again, if it does happen, we win only the Prem, and there's an available, a good manager who's available, I would definitely go for that.
Okay.
And that 100% I would do. And you know what, guys, it's been a pleasure having this elite panel here. I would want to thank them very much for being here. Make sure you guys go subscribe to them. Both channels are in the description. Gianni Talks Calcio TV, and also WaffleDon. And guys, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're closing in on 1,000 sub. And we'll see you guys next week. On that note, take care wherever you are. Stay safe, and cheers.